Hey guys!
Alright guys, we're here today to do the second video on this Monday doubleheader, and this one is a Patreon request from this Patreon right here. Asked us to check out a band called All Wasted, and the name of the song is This Means War. I don't know if this is original or if this is a cover from Avenged Sevenfold. It could go either way.
It's 50-50 chance.
50-50 chance. So, I don't know.
There's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out, and that is to press play. But I'm just, if it is a cover, at least it's Avenged Sevenfold and not Five Flavor Fruit Punch. Because that would be like, I don't know. That would be trying to build a sculpture with a turd and expecting something great to come out of it. It's still a turd.
It's still a turd, yeah.
It doesn't matter if you make a Michelangelo out of it. It's still a turd at the end of the day. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it's a Michelangelo turd.
No, it's not like Michelangelo took a turd and then used it to make a statue.
No, but it's
just a copy of a Michelangelo made out of turd, which makes it still a turd at the end of the day. It's still a turd. So it doesn't make it any better. Like, you're going to sell it to somebody and say it's a Michelangelo? No, it's a turd. Not even a Michelangelo turd, because that would be like a Renaissance turd. Fuck, man, that would have been for the ages.
Yeah.
That would be in a mausoleum somewhere. This is Michelangelo's turd. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you go back in time and wait outside his house for him to take a shit and then put it in a Ziploc bag and travel back.
Yeah, but then how would you know it's Michelangelo's turd? Would they have to do, like, DNA tests?
Exactly. You can do a DNA test and find out it's Michelangelo turd.
But then they would wonder, how the hell did you get this? Why is it fresh?
Those
like,
are
all the time going by, wouldn't it be like a petrified turd by then?
I was just thinking of all the things you could bring back.
Exactly.
Why bring a turd?
Like, you could go back in time and
bring a painting
and like bring or some of his like, I don't know,
artwork or whatever,
or sketches or stuff like that. No, you bring his turd.
I think that would be harder to find, so it'd be more valuable. I don't know. Oh, what a shitty conversation we're having. Anyways, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do this. right, it was not a cover. Now, can I go first on this?
Sure.
All right. I want to say two things even before we start talking about the song and everything else. First, I want to say this. I'm really happy when I see a young band, a bunch of young guys not doing something like core. You know, it seems like all the new generation, all the young kids, all the young laddies out there, anytime they pick up a guitar, it's like core. That's where they go with. At least I'm starting to get that vibe, right? So whenever I see a young band, a band made up of young guys that go in a completely different direction, like they're swimming against the tide, if you will. You know what I mean? Like they're like the salmon going upstream. Hopefully not to die once they get up there and they lay their eggs, but they're swimming upstream. I'm really happy to see that, because it would be much easier for a band these days perhaps to go in the other direction where everybody else is going, because it's easier for you to get recognized. Perhaps it's easier for you, to get gigs and all of that other stuff, because it seems to be the in thing right now, right? Yeah. So when I see a band of young guys going in a completely different direction, a more rock and roll,
it puts a smile on my face.
Honestly, it does. It does. So that I just want to start off by saying that. The second thing I want to say is, or are you going to say something?
I was going to say, because I'm loving these guys' energy.
I love the energy. Now, there's one thing I didn't like about this song. There's only one, just a tip.
Just a tip? Okay.
Just a tip. Just a helmet. Just a helmet. And that was the bass. There were some parts, specifically in the verses, where the guitars are coming in and then they die out, and you hear the bass coming through. But it's not coming through
enough.
I'm not saying drop the guitars down and all you hear is the bass, which would have worked, but that's not the style this song has. The song has the guitars coming in waves.
The thing is, the song has pace and it has this aggression to it.
This energy. Yeah. Let's call it that way. It has this energy to it. But in the verses, every time the guitars dropped out and you could hear, it's not like you can't hear the bass. You can hear the bass, but it's not enough. A little bit more. Because the guitars are coming in waves. When the guitars go back, I want the bass to come in and sound like the bass is there. Like I could hear the bass, but I wanted the bass. If the bass was turned to 10, I want it to be turned to 11. That's the only thing I would have changed about this track. I just wanted a little bit, not throughout the whole song, in those specific moments that you already hear the bass. I wanted the bass to be a little bit more defined, not necessarily louder, because I don't think necessarily louder is what the song needs. I want the bass to be more defined, to be more crisp, so I could hear the notes more noticeable, so I could hear the notes from the bass, so it's more noticeable. That's the only thing that I have to say that I would have changed if I'm putting this together.
I agree with you.
Outside of that, I'm with you. The energy that they have, the intensity that they have, the vocals, how everything is put together. I love it. I love this. Like just pure.
Just makes me want to be in a mosh pit.
And it's not a heavy song. It has some heavy moments.
It's just driven.
But it's a high octane kind of track. It's a song that just has a lot of energy. The energy kind of becomes heavy, or the energy feels like it adds heaviness to the way the song comes across. But if you break it down, it's not a really heavy track. But it just has a ton of energy coming from the guitars, coming from the drums. The drums have such a powerful sound. I love the drummer. He's not just going like this. He's coming all the way back here. It's like he's scratching his back and then he's coming to the... I love that. Yeah, I love that. Tons of energy, like putting some power, some weight into it. Not just going like this. He's coming all the way and just smashing it. I love it. I love the energy. I love the vocals. The solos. What did you think about that? When I saw the solar guitars, I knew these guys. Yeah, come on, you can't show up in a video with a solar guitar and then play like this guy.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, okay, when I saw the solar guitars, I'm like, these guys have taste. They're cultured men. they're well cultured.
They definitely, if they could travel back in time, they would not bring back a Michelangelo turd.
They would bring back like one of his blueprints or some shit, not actual shit.
Shit, I know.
Yeah. So I knew these guys were cultured men.
They drink their tea with their pinky.
They drink their tea with their pinkies up. They do everything right. And then when they gave the solos, I'm like, I mean, this is what I was expecting.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was expecting the solos to be quality based on the guitars.
Exactly.
I know this sounds horrible, but just based on the guitar.
You can't just have a limp dick solo with that type of guitar. You need something that's going to knock my socks off. And
this reminds me of when I was younger than you and I would go to a metal show, because back then there was no internet, right? So you didn't, you heard about bands like word of mouth and mixtapes and that kind of stuff. But if you went to a local show and the lead singer came on stage and he was wearing a t-shirt from like a band that you, like let's say Exodus. The guy comes on stage, he's wearing an Exodus t-shirt with a battle vest and he's got long hair. He's like, oh, these guys are going to kill it. You haven't heard a single song, but just based
on what they look like,
based on the t-shirt and how they look like, you're like, they're gonna kill it. Now, if the guy comes on stage and he has like, I don't want to throw any band under the bus, but he has like, let's say a band that's not, as liked.
Smashing to pieces.
Back then they didn't exist, but a band like that, like it would be the equivalent. Now you go to a show. And the lead singer comes on stage, and he has short hair and a curly mustache, and he's wearing a 5-Finger Death Punch t-shirt. Immediately, I'm walking out. I'm not even listening to one single song. I'm walking out.
That's the t-shirts where you get me. Everything else is fine.
You're okay with the?
I'm okay with. If
the rolled up.
Imagine any deathcore band and the lead singer has a rolled up mustache and he comes on stage all prim and proper and then hits you with that.
Oh, that would be
badass.
That would be quite the left turn there.
Exactly.
That would be quite the left turn. But anyways, what I'm saying is, back in the day, you used to judge the book by its cover.
Yeah.
So here we were kind of judging the book by its cover. It's like, okay,
hey, we were right though.
With that kind of guitars, you got to be able to pull off a great solo.
You don't want to.
The solo was amazing. The back and forth.
Yeah. You don't want to disrespect the guitars.
No, you don't. And I don't think they did. The song has so much energy. By the way, the lead singer looked a little bit like Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. Didn't he? Is it just me?
I think it may be, I don't know.
The hair a little bit? Imagine him.
I have to see a side by
The youth gone wild. Like imagine him doing that.
I have to see a side by side.
He has a little bit more meat on the bone, if you will. But there was some resemblance. There was some resemblance. The dude is fucking skinny as hell. Yeah. So he had a little bit more meat on the bone. But when I looked at him and he was singing and with the energy, with the hair, I was like, wow, a little bit of a Sebastian Bach vibe I'm getting. A little Skid Row vibe I'm getting from this. Great track, great energy, great guitar playing, great drums. Just the bass needed a little bit better defined sound. A little bit higher and better defined, I would say. But overall, this doubleheader was win-win.
Win-win.
Was win-win. All right, guys. On that note, come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See you guys.
See ya.